larger institutional money coming in and leveraging things like MDB Plus, which will get a ton more exposure to the entire ecosystem to make shit really crazy moving forward. What's going on, everyone? Ross here with the DGen Project, back again with another video, and I'm super excited to be putting this together for you guys here today. I've actually been on hiatus a little bit, been traveling around, kind of enjoying the last tail end of summer, spending a lot of time with the family and things like that. But I am back and ready to rock and roll. So today I've got a really awesome video scheduled here for you guys where we're actually going to be taking a very deep dive into the entire MDB ecosystem. So for those of you who aren't aware, Infinity, the newest token in the MDB ecosystem, launched on Sunday, and there was actually the pre-sale in the few days before, earlier in the week. And ever since then, it's been a huge kind of explosion in the whole ecosystem, all the way from like ramping up to the actual pre-sale, all the way into the launch. And there's been a lot of stuff going on. And so what I wanted to do was take a little bit of time today and just really break down the entire ecosystem for you guys, because this was something that was brought up a lot and kind of talked about in the original MDB white paper, talking about capital synergy, how all of the different kind of tokens within this ecosystem feed and help kind of grow one another. So I want to spend some time to really kind of map it all out and lay it all out to you guys so you can really see the big picture of this project and why this has been, for not only myself but so many others, the absolute GOAT of the bear market since May or June in this year. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So I've got the chart pulled up here on my screen, and you can see MDB has just been on an absolute tear over the last couple months. All throughout the summer, it's just been going bananas, right? Especially this time period here is kind of the lead up to the Infinity launch, and we saw some massive skyrocketing gains while the rest of the market was just really struggling. And there's been a bit of a pullback since then, which is absolutely fine, because as we're going to see in this kind of video as I break everything down, buys and sells are both very healthy for this protocol, and we want to see a nice mix of both of them to help really feed the entire system. So from here, let's dive into it. I've got the Xenia app pulled up here. We're going to cover MDB. We have Infinity token, and then we have the two stable-backed asset tokens. So we have MDB Plus and Phoenix Plus. Now, stable-backed assets means that these two tokens here are 100% backed by BUSD, which means they can never actually decrease in value. They can only go up in value over time. And you can see right now the APYs on these are pretty nuts. MDB is like the safest safe token, and it's got an 8.7% APY currently, as well as Phoenix Plus is a little bit more degen. There's a little bit of risk factors involved, such as the Inferno. It currently has an APY of 349%. Guys, this is absolutely insane when you consider it's a stable backed asset. Again, it's backed 100% by BUSD. It can never actually go down in price. It's impossible for it to decrease in price. So very cool stuff here. So I'm excited to do this breakdown. So I've got out my my handy dandy whiteboard and a little bit of a drawing pad here. So I'm going to be looking down a little bit as I'm drawing some of this stuff. But I wanted to do this just to kind of give you guys an idea of the entire ecosystem and how it all works together. So the first token that I want to talk about is going to be MDB, right? So we're going to start with MDB token, and even though I have this drawing pad, my writing still sucks, so I apologize. So MDB, let's start off with the tokenomics of it, right? So MDB has a 10% buy tax and a 15% sell tax. Okay. Now, these taxes that occur, right, during a buy or a sell, on the buy, it's like 8% goes into the trust fund or rewards. It's kind of split. And then on the sell tax, I believe it's 12% of the sales tax, or the sell taxes, go into the trust fund or rewards. Now, rewards are earned by basically staking MDB on Xenia, and the trust fund is basically the mechanism that creates everlasting buy pressure. So what is the trust fund? The trust fund is basically a big old bag of money that the MDB team is investing in a series of different things. So they hold a large amount of MDB Plus, they hold Phoenix Plus, they hold a lot of kind of different assets within their own ecosystem, as well as others. And so the objective of the trust fund is to appreciate in value And based on the trust fund's volume, or its basically size, right, its actual total value locked in the trust fund versus the ratio of the MDB market cap, right, the interest gained on the trust fund can be used to buy and burn MDB tokens, right? So basically, as this grows in value, and depending on the ratio of the size of the trust fund versus the actual market cap of MDB, the interest gained could be used to buy back and burn tokens out of the ecosystem. And so this is what creates everlasting buy pressure. So you think of it, if the trust fund is up in a lot of value, it can buy MDB tokens and burn them, which increases the price of MDB. And then people want to take profits out of that gain, and so they sell MDB. And so the volume goes down. And maybe more people sell and it goes down. But again, as these buys happen and as these sells happen, there's taxes all throughout the process, which keeps feeding more back into the trust fund, right? So the trust fund keeps growing. Okay, so there's a big push and then there's a big sell-off. Trust fund continues to grow. It then continues to buy more tokens. There's a bit of a sell-off for people taking profits, which is totally healthy. All these taxes, again, continue to feed the trust fund for it to continue to grow and create everlasting buy pressure of the token. So that's kind of how MDB works in a nutshell, right? The short and sweet version of it. So now let's take a look at some of the other tokens. So next we have MDB Plus. And so this is the first stable token that they launched. Now MDB Plus is more for real world application. In and out, you have, I think it's 0.75% buy, or I might have these mixed up, and 0.25% sell. I'm just gonna do buy/sell. Basically, you're in and out at 1%. Okay, so if you put in $100, you buy $100 worth, and then you sell what you have, you're gonna be left with $99. Okay, so not massive taxes on here, right? It's very small taxes. Again, this is designed to be used for real world application, but the way it works is that MDB Plus tokens, I gotta make it a plus. Basically, you buy by sending BNB into MDB Plus. And then it swaps it into BUSD and then mints your MDB Plus tokens, right? So every dollar you put in, you basically get $99.25 back in MDB Plus tokens. But it locks the BUSD in the contract. You can actually pull the contract up on BSC scan and you can see the amount of BUSD that's locked in MDB. And then to sell it, you basically send yourself MDB Plus and it flips it back into BUSD. It's basically taking the BUSD out of the contract, putting it back into your wallet and burning that MDB Plus, right? So there's no like finite supply of MDB Plus. The way it works is it gets minted as people buy it and it gets destroyed as people sell it. But at the end of the day, every single MDB Plus token is backed by BUSD and it continues to grow because that 1% in and out stays in the contract, right? So that 1% loss for the individual, say $100, they're now down to $99 after they buy and sell. That $1 is now distributed by the rest of the people who are still holding MDB Plus in the contract. So I hope that makes sense. Now, next, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Next, we have Phoenix Plus, and I'm just going to do Phoenix Plus with a plus sign here. And the reason why I want to do MDB Plus first is because Phoenix Plus shares a lot of the same tokenomics here, where it's backed by BUSD, right? But the taxes are a little bit higher, and it has a little bit of a gamification, a little bit of a risk factor called the Inferno. So for Phoenix Plus, you have a 2% buy and a 2% sell tax. I believe transfer is 2% as well. Like it's basically 2% across the board, right? So on this, you're in and out at 4%, but this is where the gamification comes in. There is a chance that the Phoenix can basically cash you out through the Inferno. So every now and then, the Inferno will cash someone out of Phoenix Plus. And if you get cashed out by the Inferno, you have a 2% fee. So in this, you'd actually be in and out at 6% if you get cashed out by the Inferno. Now, typically when you sell Phoenix Plus, you'll sell back into BUSD. However, if you get cashed out in the Inferno, it cashes you out in MDB Plus, right? So the Inferno actually cashes out whatever you're holding into MDB Plus. So this is where Phoenix Plus works with MDB Plus, where it creates a little bit extra buy pressure. And of course, if someone then wants to get back into Phoenix Plus, they would have to sell their MDB. So that person is now in and out another 1%, which stays in the protocol, which helps to continually grow MDB Plus, right? Again, MDB Plus can never decrease in value. It can only go up in value because it's always backed by BUSD, and that 1% in and out stays in the contract, so it just keeps growing over time. There's no way of it decreasing. So this is how MDB Plus can continuously see growth and extra buy pressure and extra, not really buy pressure, but just extra volume from the Phoenix Plus token and its mechanics with the Inferno. Now, Phoenix Plus, again, backed by BUSD, right? It is also what is required to buy Infinity. Oops. So this is now where everything kind of comes full circle, right? So we have the Infinity, I got a little clicker on my pen that's making lines. So we have the Infinity token that just launched. Now, the Infinity token is kind of like a middle ground between Phoenix Plus and MDB in a sense as far as taxes are concerned. Infinity is basically 5% across the board. So buy, sell, transfer, etc., right? 5% tax across the board. Now, the 5% tax, the way this works, basically it goes like this. 60% goes into the Infinity Fund. Man, my writing, for some reason, this bottom right corner is just horrible. 60% in an Infinity Fund and 40% goes into the Phoenix Plus liquidity pool pair, right? So it basically buys Phoenix Plus again, right? So this actually goes into Phoenix Plus to buy more, and that's 2% tax, which again stays in the protocol as BUSD. So it basically increases holders' values, right? So 40% goes into Phoenix Plus to support the liquidity pair of Infinity, and then 60% goes into the Infinity Fund. Now, you notice over here we have the trust fund from MDB, right? And then we have the Infinity Fund here in Infinity. So what are the differences? Well, the trust fund, like I explained before with MDB, its purpose is to basically increase over time, right? It's going to be invested into a series of different assets and different tokens and things like that. Its objective is to grow over time. And then based on this ratio, a percentage of the earnings of the trust fund will be used to buy back and burn MDB tokens, right? So again, that creates buy pressure. It also creates it as a deflationary token. There was only 1 billion tokens. Right now, we've already burnt over 14%. Well, not we, but MDB has already burnt over 14% of total supply of MDB tokens. So that's pretty cool. But again, the trust fund, its goal is to increase in value over time, right? It's kind of like this behemoth that wants to continuously grow and compound and grow to consistently make more and more buy pressure on the token. So if there's a massive sell-off, it doesn't matter because we've got this monster trust fund that is accumulating interest. And whenever those ratios get skewed to the point where we have Phoenix unlocked, the trust fund's interest is used to buy back and burn tokens, creating more buy pressure, increasing the price over even more, which could trigger a little bit more sell-offs and profit taking, again, perpetuating that cycle. So that's how kind of MDB works. Now, the Infinity Fund is a little bit different. Because the taxes on Infinity, right, we got 5% across the board on all taxes, 60% of that is going into the Infinity Fund. The Infinity Fund's objectives are basically to maintain value, right? It wants to maintain value, its dollar value, and any interest earned is used for MDB rewards and buybacks and burn. So Infinity tokens launched with 10 million tokens. I think there's been over 200,000 tokens burnt so far. So it's basically at 9,800,000 tokens in current supply after we've had 200,000 burnt. So basically 2% of the token supply has been burnt already out of Infinity. So MDB rewards is a part of the Infinity Fund. How that works is basically the Infinity Fund on the interest earned, its objective is to maintain its dollar value. Anything off the top, any interest gained is used immediately for MDB rewards and buybacks and burns. MDB rewards, again, creates more buy pressure on the MDB token, right? Because the rewards are literally the Infinity Fund buying MDB tokens and then distributing it to holders. So people who are holding and staking Infinity inside of Xenia. There's also the Infinity Yacht Club NFT, right? So holders of the Infinity Yacht Club NFT are a part of the MDB rewards, and you also get MDB rewards by staking Infinity inside of Xenia. So that's how this all works. And you can see there's like this massive ecosystem, right? So again, we have MDB, the trust fund basically perpetually grows and creates buy pressure and deflationary mechanism for the MDB token, 10% buy, 15% sell tax. We have MDB Plus, right? The super stable token. If you have a large amount of money sitting around in cash, maybe you could put it into MDB Plus because it's never going to go down in value, but you could be earning what is the current numbers on Xenia. MDB Plus is at 8.7% APY. At launch, it was at 40% APY. So that's the MDB Plus token, right? Then we have Phoenix Plus, which basically has a buy and sell tax of 2%, but again, it's backed by BUSD. And then if there's the Inferno, that cashes someone out into MDB Plus, right? So the Phoenix Plus actually buys MDB Plus and flips the person into MDB Plus, creating more volume into that. You also have to buy Phoenix Plus in order to buy Infinity. Again, the Infinity pair is, the Infinity is paired with Phoenix Plus, right? So that's the liquidity pool. Pairing is Infinity Plus, or Infinity with Phoenix Plus. So you have to buy Phoenix Plus in order to buy Infinity. When you're buying Infinity and holding it, there's a 5% buy tax, 5% sell tax, etc. And 60% of that goes into the Infinity Fund, which gains interest, and any interest gained then comes back and buys more MDB out of circulation and distributes it to all the other holders. So you can see like there's so much stuff going on here. And I think this is just really like the total proof of concept of capital synergy, right? If we look at Xenia Suite here, MDB on its launch, it had a pre-sale of 0.25 cents. It's now 1.5 cents, right? That's literally, what is that, like a 7x from launch back in April, while everything else has basically been on a steady decline since April, May, June. Everything's been going down. MDB has been absolutely soaring. Again, you can see it in the chart. It's absolutely crushing it. Then we have Infinity, right? It launched last week or on Sunday at 20 cents a token. It's now at 42 cents a token. So there's over a 2x over a weekend, literally. Like this thing has been going bonkers as well. Then we have the MDB Plus token. Again, since this launch, we had a 40% APY. Over the last 7 days, there's been an 8.7% average APY. And then we have Phoenix Plus. Again, these are stable back assets. Phoenix Plus, its APY since launch is 392%, and just over the last 7 days is 349%. So guys, I hope this video really kind of gives you a clear understanding of the entire ecosystem. There's also the MDB, it's the Phoenix Fire Club NFT project, where this basically locks up 4.2% of the total supply. So as more tokens get burnt, the amount of tokens in the contract will increase beyond 4.2%. So at the end of every month, the difference, so say this goes up to like 4.4% of the total supply, that 0.2% difference will be distributed to the holders as rewards. So that's kind of how that works. And then again, the Infinity Yacht Club, this actually locks up 15% of the total supply, and it's locked in the NFT. So this basically is just like a device to just completely remove a ton of tokens out of supply, locks it up. Those amount of tokens will never be released. They're locked into the token, and you're basically earning MDB rewards off of this as well. So I hope my chicken scratch on screen here is clear enough. And I hope maybe with me explaining it as I drew all this stuff out, I hope maybe that really helped you guys get a better understanding of this whole project. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a like, subscribe, comment below as well what you think the future numbers of MDB is going to look like and where you think this project is going to go overall. So far, again, since the launch, towards the end of April, pretty much everything that they've been developing has been fulfilled, right? We had phase 1, which was the launch. We had phase 2 going into stable tokens, phase 3 Infinity, and now we're looking at, and which is something that I'm extremely excited for, is going to be what happens with MDB Plus with all the potential real world applications. I think that's the master plan. Get these whole tokens like just really thriving, this whole ecosystem running, and then start getting massive exposure and a lot of larger institutional money coming in and leveraging things like MDB Plus, which will get a ton more exposure to the entire ecosystem to make shit really crazy moving forward. So I'm super, super excited to see the long term of MDB, MakeDefiBetter, and all the ecosystem and everything that they're doing. Because again, they've just been delivering one thing after the other consistently, sticking to the words and absolutely crushing it. So I'm very, very excited to see the future of this. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Again, if you'd like, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts on it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me up, and I really appreciate every single one of those. So that's it, guys. Again, hope you enjoyed this video, and I truly look forward to seeing you in the next one.